Hi everyone, my name is Matt. I'm the youth and family pastor at Cornerstone Church in Marshfield, and I'm here today with your Cornerstone Connection, a daily devotional. Well, I'm excited today, friends, because we are going to be in the book of Daniel, and Daniel is one of those books of the Bible that contains a story that is just gripping, that once you start reading it, it's hard to put it down, at least according to me. And so, as we begin today, we're going to be in Daniel chapter 2, and just to kind of catch us up a little bit, here's what's going on. Here's the scene. Daniel and a select group of other Jews have been brought to Babylon. And what King Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, wanted was to decimate Jerusalem and to bring some of the most fit and brightest young people to Babylon, in particular some young men. And Daniel happened to be one of them. And there was three others that you might be quite familiar with. Their names are Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And they have three different names also that they go by in the book of Daniel. So anyway, by the time we pick up here today in chapter 2, here's what happens. The king, Nebuchadnezzar, attempts to go to sleep one night, and he has some dreams that keep him up. And I got to tell you, I can relate with that. I've had moments, and have them more often than I wish I did, where maybe a dream wakes me up, or maybe I wake up and then I'm just thinking about things, thinking about work, thinking about family, thinking about whatever, and it just keeps me up and I can't sleep. Well, for King Nebuchadnezzar, he has some specific dreams that, in a way, just frighten him. And so, after the night goes by and he gets up from his bed, what's his first move? Well, his first move is to bring in his magicians, his enchanters, the smartest and brightest that he has of his own people. And he tells them, here's what I need you guys to do. I don't want you simply to interpret my dream. I need you to tell me what I dreamed and then tell me the interpretation of my dream. Of course, those that he pulls into the room, they're a bit shocked and they go, King, there is not a person on the planet that would be able to tell you what your dream was, much less be able to interpret it. So they say, let's cut a deal. You tell us what it is and we'll interpret it. And the king holds his ground. He says, I'm being firm with you. You need to tell me what it was, what I dreamed, and then interpret it. Otherwise, you're going to face some severe consequences. Well, based upon prior experience with Daniel, these magicians, these enchanters, these wise guys of the Babylonian kingdom, they go and they find Daniel. And they tell him about what the king has said and what the consequences will be if they cannot tell the king the dream and then interpret it. So we get to verse 16 in Daniel chapter 2, and this is where the story gets so good. And as we get there, I got to ask you, well, when you face trials in life, when maybe you could say crisis comes, when the difficult happens and the hard things occur, my question for today is, what is your first move? What is your first move? We saw with King Nebuchadnezzar that it was to go get the magicians, the enchanters, and the wise guys of the Babylonian kingdom. And now we're going to see what Daniel's first move was. So here we go, chapter 2, verse 16. It says this, At this, after Daniel's been told from the wise guys what the king has said, Daniel went in to the king and he asked for time, so that he might interpret the dream for him. Verse 17, Then Daniel returned to his house. He explained the matter to his friends, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, a.k.a. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Verse 18, he urged them to plead for mercy from the God of heaven concerning this mystery, so that he and his friends might not be executed with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. During the night, the mystery was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Then Daniel praised the God of heaven. I'm going to pause there. Did you see Daniel's first move? He goes to the king. He says, King, just give me a little bit of time and I'll get it interpreted for you. And then what's the next thing he does? Does he go to his room and just try to think hard? Does he try to conjure it up on his own? No, he finds his three best friends, three other men that are devoted to and love God. And he says, Men, friends, I need you to pray. We need to seek God. Because what those enchanters, magicians, wise guys said that there is no man on this planet that could identify the king's dream and then interpret it, they're absolutely right. The only way this is going to happen is if God reveals it. And so our first move is going to be to pray. And so they pray. And God answers. We see it, right? In verse 19, and God reveals the dream to Daniel in a vision. And when he wakes up, he has it. And he's able to go to the king. He's able to tell the king what he dreamed. And then he's able to tell the king what those dreams mean. And guess what? There's glory given to God as Daniel continues to praise God in the following verses all the way through verse 23. And then there is good given to mankind, both for Daniel and his friends and for the other wise guys whose lives were on the line. Friends, as we conclude today, what is your first move? When the tough times of life come, when crisis is near and it's happened, when it's in your home, when it's at your workplace, wherever you are, what is your first move? What is my first move? Is it to turn to the God of heaven for his direction, his revelation, his solution? May it be so in my life, and may it be so in your life. Have a great day, friends. We'll see you next time on the Cornerstone Connection.